Board. Hello and welcome, folks. I'm here with Jonathan and Matthew. Matthew, of course, a regular on the SAF podcast. Jonathan's been on one or two. We are branching out, diversifying our portfolio, and today we are starting with our first episode of monthly manga review.
Yeah.
Ooh. I'm excited.
Wait a second. We're talking about a first episode, but didn't we also do Tomo-chan?
Yeah, that was a one-off. This is kind of like a beta test, if you will.
That sounds good to me.
That's why I knew this idea was going to work, and that's why I want to kind of pursue it.
Sounds
on a semi-regular basis.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're here. I chose the manga this time. And so we're going to... we both all already read the gem that is Aiki.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're not familiar with the term, it is a term from Aikido and Jiu-Jitsu, referring to a combination of techniques used in both martial arts, in which you use your opponent's weight against them.
I actually didn't know that. I thought it was just totally just off to the side, the title.
For real, if you look up Aiki on Wikipedia, it'll show you just Aiki, no manga, no nothing else like that. It will show you the articles on the techniques.
Yep.
Ah, interesting.
That's why it's so hard to find this manga.
See, it redirected me to like 4, and one was a high school, and then the other one was just like the author's like discography. So, yeah, what you call it? Like friggin'. I just like kind of glanced over it.
Yeah. No, it's definitely hard to find. That's one of the reasons why it's a gem. And nobody really. There's a very small dedicated fan base that's kind of died out for reasons of the fact that it's over and that its sequel never got proper translation. But we read it. We're here. What was everyone's first impressions? Now, Matthew and I had already read this. We tried to start this podcast previously. And so Jonathan was the only one fresh to the series already.
Yeah.
So, Jonathan, what were your first impressions?
Okay, so, like I was telling you earlier, when y'all sent me, like, the title and everything, and I was just like, okay, I'm gonna check this out. Like, legit, the first few chapters feel like such, like, gag manga vibes.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, yo, this the one we were supposed to read?
Yeah.
Like, this is the one. Okay. And then you finally get into like more of the fighting and everything, and then it made more sense, and I was like, okay, I'm in.
No, this manga in particular is quite the category killer. You can't really place it in just one solid category, because like you said, it's definitely a gag manga in more places than one. Probably not all the way throughout, because a lot of it is based in actual, like, fundamental ideas, per se. Especially when it comes to the martial arts part. But, I mean, it's definitely got more than a couple gag moments, especially the fourth wall breaking.
Did you call it? I just remember going, Joku fighting, what's the first sword user's name? I can't remember off the top of my head, and
Oh, you mean the guy from the top high school 10?
Yeah.
What was it? It's Wado Akifumi?
Yes.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Did you call it? So, like, the fight after he beat, Joku beats him up, and, gosh darn, going through character cheat sheets. I'm really unprepared. Miyu just is sitting in the office, just going like, so what happened to him? Just like, oh, he challenged Joku and lost. And then she just goes like, what a loser. And I'm just like, oh my friggin' gosh. So we're in that type of story.
Yep.
Everyone's really fresh and mean and nasty to one another.
No,
it's good.
Miyu opens her gate for anybody who can beat the crap out of her.
It doesn't seem untrue. It doesn't seem untrue.
Yeah.
But
so Matt, what were your first impressions the first time you read this? Like, what were you, if you remember them?
Yeah. This is a bit of a throwback now. I had a very good time. I had a bit of a hard time trying to figure out what the stakes were in this series, and that was one thing that was throwing me off here. And even during the second half of the series, it's something that I couldn't really put my finger on, because as fun as this series is, I found myself thinking some of these fights get tense enough to qualify fitting in with what I would see with a regular anime, but there's never really a sense of anyone's lives being on the line, like it's a big training trip, basically. And I remember feeling that that was kind of odd, but sticking with it. And I still had a great time nonetheless, but the series never really gets that down quite right. But still, it's a great time, and I took myself to it pretty quickly. So yeah, I did enjoy this right off the bat.
Mm-hmm. Now, I found this a couple of years ago. Gosh, it must have been 4 or 5 years ago, the first time I read it. And it was actually a suggestion after I finished reading another manga that was in the suggested titles underneath.
Oh, yeah.
Because I was reading some martial arts stuff. And I found it by chance, like a lot of the other stuff that I read. It just was in the right place, right time. So I'm like, oh, okay, I'll pick it up. And like you guys, like the tone is very hard to pin down at the beginning.
Yeah.
And it's definitely a trip as it starts finding its leggings. I mean, like, even Jokyu, the main character, he becomes... even the art styles is what I mean, kind of changes and shifts as the series goes on. Because this is, I forget the author's name, one of his first works, and so it's, I think maybe his only work, I can't remember.
No, he had like one more before that was at... Actually, three more before that actually got published. But he was mostly a doujin artist before, which is very apparent.
I fully believe that.
Oh yeah, it's Isutoshi. Yeah, he did a whole bunch of doujins. Yeah. Oh yeah, almost. Yeah, all of them are. Yeah.
Slut Girl and Slut Girl Plus Alpha are his first two.
Well, no, there are some. He did some illustration stuff for some other ones. Well, some one shots. And there's some collections of his doodles before that. For some reason, I don't know how you publish a collection of doodles before you like actually have a series out, but he did it. But no, most of this other stuff's just one shots and other miscellaneous stuff. So this was kind of his big debut as far as the big leagues go.
Yeah, I do appreciate him. I don't want to say taking off, because as far as fame or notoriety go, he didn't really make too much of a splash with this. But I am glad that this did wind up getting publicized.
Yeah, it's kind of sad because he spins a pretty good story. I mean, it works because the universe is set up. Because basically the everything's made up and the points don't matter.
Yeah.
It's a very like whose line is it anyway style martial arts training constant tournament arc manga. I mean, gosh, there's only like you only have like a chapter in between like some fights before like the next thing happens, and like there's almost no downtime between like the training and the tournament and just the next opponent and the villain of the week, and its pacing is pretty well done. It doesn't really have too much downtime, and the way that he's set up, I mean, because Jokyu is basically Gary Stu.
Oh yeah. Did you call it? I wasn't gonna say it, but yeah, it really feels like it.
Well, that's the thing, is that he's a Gary Stu, but then he gets in the beginning he has a handicap.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But then they slowly remove that handicap, and so in Ikey he never really gets rid of the handicap, but he's still Gary Stu, even though he doesn't always beat everybody.
Yeah.
See, I feel like that's because like even when he loses, he just comes out like, okay, I lose. Like it's not an actual hard loss. It's just like, yeah, I can't fight you right now.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, though. He's always telling people he's a genius, but that's because he is. He literally reforms everything he does so that he gains power levels, even though he's not supposed to be able to at this point.
Yeah. But it works out with his horrible attitude because like he's Travis touchdown bad, where he's just like crass and just like, yeah, what do you call it? Friggin', I wish I could be a coward. Man, being a coward would be so easy.
Yeah. I had never made the Travis touchdown comparison, but that's actually really on point. Yeah.
Well, I mean, they both are kind of neats, so
Yeah.
you know.
But it's that just like terrible personality that really like brings him to be a character like you hate but you would want to follow.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing, is that you do, like, unlike a level Gary Stu that you know is never gonna, like die or be beaten or stuff like that. You keep watching because you have that little lingering way, like, oh, I hope he gets beat.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He's entertaining. That's even though he's the slime of the earth, he's entertaining, and that's why you want to watch him, because you want to see how he'll react, because he reacts differently and all sorts of stuff. He changes sides rapidly. He has no loyalty.
What you call it? Towards the end, he actually just joins the other side.
That's one of the best scenes.
Yay and nay.
Yeah.
I mean, like, that's the thing, is that he's always number one. He looks like he changes sides, and he looks like he's not even on, like, Hojo's side for real. He's just in there for his own personal interest to get stronger.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's the thing, is that, like, everybody always mistakes him for having loyalty when he's just always just on the team that's going to help him one-up everybody else.
Yeah.
But on that a little bit, just like there's plenty of times where he just goes like, hey, there's those guys. Maybe I should just totally expose them so I could watch this just all play out.
And that's the other thing too, is that he loves manipulating people more than anything else. Like, gosh, so there is a character called Bull. His actual name is Furukawa, and he's a local thug just outside of high school, or just about to be out of high school, and he runs into him while they're in the high school arc, and just out of fun and curiosity and just being the little troll that he is, Jokyu pulls him out, has them abduct him from Japan to join his team as the third disciple.
Oh, yeah.
And powerhouse that they need to be able to defeat Hojo. Just to see Bull squirm and to see everybody else's reactions.
Hey, you look okay. Get in.
Yeah. I love it because everyone's just like, are we sure that's Jokyu's disciple? Yeah, he vouched for him, and he's just like, oh shoot.
And then he starts talking back to Jokyu like it's no big deal, and you have all these other like serious martial arts who big fans of Jokyu, understand how important he is and blah blah blah, and hold him in high esteem, who don't really know him personally, and then you have this guy who still doesn't understand how Jokyu is, and just like yells at him, and it's the biggest like misunderstanding that comes out honestly on top for Bull, because he learns how to become a man out of it. He actually gets something out of it, which Jokyu may or may not have planned. We're not sure.
Yeah. The actual dynamic of a Bull like getting upset with Jokyu in a few scenes, much to the misunderstanding of everyone around there. It feels kind of like Shanks and Buggy, to be honest with you.
Oh yeah, that dynamic where well, it's the opposite though, because it's not that, because Shanks and Buggy are old friends.
Yeah.
And Shanks doesn't care. Buggy doesn't care about Shanks' current position because he knows he's not going to do anything to him. They already have so much of a history, but nobody else knows about that history. So it's the onlookers who are out of the loop.
Yeah.
when it's Bull and Jokyu, it's Bull who's out of the loop. And that's what makes it so hilarious, is that like Bull is so much out of the loop that he will just treat Jokyu like a regular guy when everybody else knows how extremely dangerous, and that Jokyu could kill any one of them in the room if he wanted to.
Yeah.
And people like go out of their way to explain that. Just like, no, you're down here and he's way up here.
Yeah. Always appreciate that.
Yeah.
In regards to the dynamic of having him interact with the cast and have them help him remove the limiters on his body there. It's kind of a nice parallel of the average anime training saga. Well, not parallel, rather the stark opposite.
It's inverse.
Yeah. What I'm used to seeing, and it's really nice. And I'd honestly like to see this more often, because this is a case where instead of a young character going through a story, raises his own base power with training of his own. We've got someone who already knows everything and is just trying to get rid of his current limiters. And I'd like to see this a bit more often, but it has to be written carefully, because with something like this, you can have your main protagonist also fit the role of a mentor character, basically, which is what exactly is going on here. So it's cool. It's just I can't see this working with every series, but I do like
Of course
this breath of fresh air going on, where we've got a veteran trying to get back to where he used to be, as opposed to a first-timer starting his journey.
Well, I wouldn't really call Jokyu a protagonist. He's definitely an anti-hero.
Fair enough, yeah. You knew it.
Just to clarify that, but no, the thing about it is the genius part about it, because we're introduced to Rin Kazuki.
Yeah.
Supposedly supposed to be like, oh, you think, oh, she's gonna be a new disciple, blah blah.
Yeah.
Jokyu's gonna take her under their wing because they both use the same jujitsu style of Aikido, and but that's not it. See, like, you have to see the whole picture, but it's set up as a bait and switch, because it seems like, oh, well, he's just training her up, doing this and that, helping her out and stuff like that. But in the opposite, it's almost like he's training the girls, his cousin Mew, and then Rin, and then Kageyasu, all together, and then he's using them to help prop himself up.
Yeah.
It's the challenger tries to create a rival strong enough so that the challenger has a good time.
Very selfish,
And,
this man.
Yeah, and so that's the thing, is that, like, you think, oh, well, he's training these three and they're going to become important, but they're not. They're only important in their saga. once we leave high school and the academy, they don't matter anymore.
Yeah, they are
Except for Kageyasu, because she follows Jokyu around.
Yeah.
But it's but that's the thing, is that it's not just him unlocking his powers, it's him learning to be weak again and like bolstering himself, like not only getting his abilities back, but making them more proficient and more efficient than they were previously, because he had the power to not need to do that. But now he's doing that and getting his power back, it's like twofold.
Why would one really need to learn how to micromanage every last bit of energy when you have more strength than anyone else in the world? So yeah, it's a pretty nice personal training trip throughout the whole series. You're right.
Yeah. Do you call it? I think, doesn't his dad say, like, when he actually like kind of dislocates all his bones and places them back together, what do you call it?
Yeah.
That it was just really to kind of create sort of a hubris and kind of like really manage his power a lot more.
Yeah.
Well, so Tatsukuni, his dad, which Joku's real name is Kunitoshi. Joku is his surname. But he his father Tatsukuni, he's a chiropractor, bone setter, and so he just located all his joints and relocated them so that there's ways you can do this to strengthen the joints, and there's ways to do it to weaken the joints. And so what he did was to realign it so it'd be hard for them to work properly. And it wasn't so much the real intent was just to rein Joku in, give him enough ability to be able to defend himself, but not enough that he can go around rampaging like he used to in his teenage years.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like it kind of like really built more of a technique with them though, because there are moments within the series where he's just like, I'm working with this much amount of strength, so I gotta like figure out how to curve my technique to work with that.
Yeah.
But
that's the thing, though. His father knew he was a genius. This was really just a stumbling block, hoping that he would mature.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
Happen.
That's the whole thing. But his father was a chiropractic genius, so I knew, he knew that his skills would, stay in place, if not for a long time, long enough to hopefully. That's the other thing. It's sort of to humble himself, to make him about as strong as a regular martial artist. Like you see, like they're high school girls that, and his old ex-girlfriend Kageyasu was able to beat him and able to land a hit on him at one point. You know, and so it even though it doesn't really have that much, the humility was for his form and technique applied rather than his actual attitude. Of course, we have his mother to blame for that.
Oh boy. Do we ever?
But no, it's definitely something. It wasn't like he was sealing him forever. It was just trying to get him to settle down, if anything.
Did you call it? Although, like, they kind of explain it like that at the start, like before we get the backstory. Did you call it? And they're just like, "Yo, train you, Ryu, Ren. Oh, shot.
Ren.
Shoot. Did you call it? Yeah. Friggin', I'm staring at the screen, and the glare is kind of like blocking my eyes. Okay, so train Ren, and he's just like, I can't, like, my bones are messed up, so my power's sealed away, and they're just like, what kind of manga nonsense is this?
Yeah.
You're lying to us.
Or was it when Matera, she's shooting him with air pistols, and he's like, "Am I really in Japan right now?"
Yeah. That's my favorite part, because just like throughout the whole chapter, he's just like, I think this manga's set in Japan.
Oh, it's hilarious when he's in the family style. In the very beginning, he's eating a whole bunch of dishes in the family style restaurant, and then Home and Matara, the guardians for Rin, come in to try and secure him so that she can convince him to teach her, and they just have this big like useless battle in this family style restaurant where Joku basically doesn't even try, and then he gets captured because he doesn't care, and then gets taken over there and gets to see her potential. But it's a funny scene, especially for an opener. It's pretty. I don't know. You'd say it's hard to really grasp the tone in the beginning, but looking back, that tone really just rings through the entire series.
Man, it's just a lot. Like seeing a girl in a whole cowboy outfit, and then a girl dressed up like
traditional Chinese dress.
Yeah, and then just a dude in a regular school uniform just looking over from his burger, just like, what?
A dude in his mid-20s in a school uniform.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't want to buy any more clothes.
It's just a lot.
Yeah. Oh, I love it how, they don't realize that he's a NEET until his mom comes home. Like, he has no job. He hangs out with them all day during school. he doesn't, he doesn't change clothes, stuff like that. Like the legends and rumors about him and stories, like all day back, way back.
Oh yeah.
To when he was in high school, and yet they can't seem to put the pieces together until his mom comes around and tells him outright.
Yeah, just like you.
Even his own cousin Mew didn't even know.
Yeah.
But I love her explanation of it. It's just like I had to like train this into him from childhood that he can.
She freaking leaves him locked in like storage containers and like punishes him for the smallest little things so that he'll latch on to her.
Just like
Even
I'm the only one that he can't go against.
Yeah. Even the most powerful beast in the world has its own natural enemy, and for him, that's me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I love that him and Tenho, even though they're stepbrothers, they still know about each other, but they never met each other like all this time.
Mm-hmm.
And even though they haven't met each other, like they're both very aware of each other's presence. It's really weird. Like for a family that doesn't seem to really care about each other very much, like they both are like, oh yeah, I have that brother. Yeah, I remember him. I never met him, but I remember him.
He's a real smarty pants, that one.
Yeah, what you call it? And I love the fact that the contrast between him and his stepbrother, because his stepbrother is very weak looking and everything, but he's an analytical genius.
Yeah.
And just like everyone's just like, but I'm pretty sure I can beat you up super easy. Like, yes, but that is not my skill.
Yeah.
That's the thing, is that even though he's not as physically adept as Jokyu, he still has the reading ability from the family.
Oh, yeah.
And so he's got that amazing reading ability, and he puts it to full use. And that's the thing. He says, he's like, oh yeah, if Jokyu didn't want to do martial arts, he could do anything. We both are very very great about this whole thing, and we could do anything if we wanted to, basically. And it kind of just like brings almost no meaning to this conflict.
Yeah.
Jokyu just likes it because he likes physically punishing people.
But what you call it? Friggin', as long as we're just jumping around like back and forth throughout the story, just like the actual like explanation that Jokyu can't actually throw a punch, like friggin' when he's going against Veronica and he just like kind of smacks her. He's just like, yeah, my hands are super fragile. I just like Aikido's just like my main strength.
I mean, he never trained with punches because he's always done jujitsu and Aikido, and so like you don't throw punches in those. Like it's all like wrist locks and elbow locks and throws and moving the momentum of the body. Mm-hmm. And so there are no like kicks or punches or stuff like that. But I mean, like even when he freaking takes down Esho, the sumo guy, like that's the thing, is that he knows how to properly like throw his body. That's the thing. Each one of his blows has his full body weight behind it, and that's why he's able to do it. And even when he who is it that he hits in the head and knocks out because he rattles their brain? I mean, he has other ways of doing things. He understands the human body. Because his mother was a doctor, his dad was a chiropractor, and he learned so much through osmosis through them, and so he's never had to use actual like, he's never had to train his body in that way. But when he slaps Veronica, he also says he wouldn't feel right like hitting a woman like that or something like that. Yeah. Also, he's pretty beat up at that point.
Oh yeah, what'd you call it? But it's such. It actually like feels like it added like something a lot to his character. Like it actually like reins in a lot of like his abilities and everything. Just like he's not without like weakness. He has like drawbacks rather than just like being this legend otherwise.
Well, I think the big takeaway is that, like, even though he's a genius, because he hasn't properly done the time, he can't just pull out techniques outside of his wheelhouse.
Oh, yeah.
So. It's definitely that's the thing, is that it always like gag mangas off and then it pulls you back to reality, and then gag mangas off and then pulls you right back in, and so it's like this constant like back and forth, which I don't know, it's kind of oddly balanced and it works really well. It doesn't sound like it with the way that I'm describing it, but that's how it is.
Oh, it totally makes sense for the most part. But yeah, so how do we want to go about this? Do you just want to keep on going?
Well, yeah, I think we need to talk about some of the big characters. Yeah. So obviously we have Kizuko Rin, which is our first like supporting character that we really see. I mean, she's the first one in the first chapter.
Yeah.
And so she is. So they go to this martial arts high school, and people go to this high school in the hopes of getting into Ryobu, the accredited martial arts university, where all the people who want to become famous martial artists go and study martial arts. And so Kizuki Rin is Kizuki Osuma's daughter, or granddaughter, yeah. And so he is the headmaster of their high school. And he is abroad right now doing things, and so everything is left on her for some reason to keep up the affairs in the high school, even though it's never really shown anything that she has to do with that. Mm-hmm. It's just kind of always implied and mentioned.
Yeah.
And she, like I said before, she has the two guardians, Home and Mitara, and both of them are foreigners who work at the high school. And Mitara is the English teacher, and Home is the gym teacher.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure it's gym teacher.
Yeah, and that's like revealed like I think 5 chapters
way later than it should be.
Yeah.
Like Jokyu's just
this
like,
wait, this is after
you two are
Jokyu has
teachers?
sex. This is after Jokyu has sex with Mitara thinking she's a high school girl.
Yeah. Also, I love the end of that exchange because you're just like, so you're gonna teach Rin now, right? And you're just like, no, why would it? No, that wasn't the exchange. I just wanted to do this.
I guess I can give her a hint. That's fine. See this fish? This fish is gonna teach him martial
This fish
arts.
I pulled out of my ass, by the way. It never shows where he gets the fish from. That's why I have such a hard time finding the fish.
I love that whole bit so much, just where they're getting random pet store fish.
Yeah.
And it's like, and Haume's like, I told you she wouldn't like these ones to get the freaking bubble eye goldfish. It's like, no, these are way too slow. They're too wonky.
You got freaking.
I'll just go buy the damn fish myself.
Yeah.
And then they get the suction fish, and she's like, no, these are slimy. I can't catch them anyways. Oh man.
You call it? I just love when Jogi looks in and just like, these fish look a little different. Are you sure these are the same fish? But nevertheless, you got my point.
But then of course the other supporting character we meet in the first chapter is Mew, his cousin. Mm-hmm. And then her father, within the grand scheme of things, is Takatori Tatsuhiro, and he's a friend of Jokyu's, obviously because he's his uncle, but he's also a good friend, and he's trying to take control of the high school while Rin's grandfather is away. And that conflict never gets resolved.
No, one of the things that I noticed during my reread is, wow, they really dropped the feud between Takatori's side and Rin's side very quickly. Pretty much just around the time where we see Karasumaru's minions start to make their move, it's very quickly established of like, okay, we've got absolutely no time for any fight between the two of us. Let's just drop this all together.
Did you call it? I think they explained it away as like neither one of them actually wanted to take over the school, and it was just a rumor that got started, and both of them believed it.
Probably. It's probably something stupid like
Yeah,
that.
because it's like literally explained away in one line, and they never go back to it. They're just like, okay, we're on the same side now.
I know, and I love it that at the end of the whole saga, Rin and Mitara and Haomei are all like, oh, and they're like, oh, we'll go to college with you. And I'm like, and everybody's like, your teacher, shouldn't you already had college?
Yeah. It's super weird. Just like, wow,
so weird.
Yeah. It's weird that we all got accepted. It's just like, okay, we're just moving on from that then.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's real. It's like I said, like everything's made up and the points don't matter at the end. Like they have all these like serious conflicts and stuff like that, but then at the end it doesn't really matter anymore. Like,
Yeah.
like even with skipping forward to like Veronica and the uranium war, and like the fact that at the end they're never able to find it, everything crumbles, and they just give up on the uranium mine, and then the U.S. pulls out.
Yeah.
The support troops to the rebels, and then nothing just gets solved, and they almost just had a civil war over nothing.
Exactly.
It's all the real world and all the big impactful things that should weigh heavy just have no weight, and it's all just about like tournament fights.
Yeah.
But I love that so much about it. Just because, like, at the end of each arc, it's just like it never mattered anyway.
No, and never like they couldn't have done. They wouldn't have. They could have done nothing, and it would have solved itself.
Yeah. Like, Veronica definitely walks away just like, yeah, I'm done with this.
Yeah, because Hojo even threw away the final piece of the map, so they couldn't find it anyway. So like, even the whole conflict, even if they would have killed Hojo, like nothing would have changed. Like,
I love it so
man.
much. I love it.
But yeah, no. So we have the Rin in the Mew faction, and we have the 10 Knights at the high school, and so they are all trying to. So Mew is the head of the Knights, or she's part of the Knights, or she.
No.
She gets.
Mew is the head of the school. Then Rin was made the captain of the 10 Knights.
Well, I know, but I mean, like in the beginning, she's associated with the Knights.
Oh, right. Sorry, yeah.
And that's why they're hunting Rin because, and they think it's because she's trying to help her dad, but it's really because she wants to get in Ryobu and she wants to be top dog.
Yeah.
And so we have all this infighting, and then and so Jokyu helps Rin take out the enemy of the week one by one, and we get to see quite a bit of different styles of martial arts throughout this entire thing. It's very educational because most everything is pretty based in reality. There's not too much outside of some of Jokyu's higher abilities that isn't based in actual facts in the real world.
Hey man, I was sparring with someone just the other day. I saw someone do the wind step right in front
and
of me.
They did a freaking Raijin kick and threw you into the ceiling.
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
Still recovering from that one,
Yeah, just like we're freaking. Okay, so let's get on. Let's move quickly here. So Kageyasu comes back, and she is Jokyu's ex-girlfriend who he helped train while they were both university age. Well, she was high school and he was university age, and so she comes back because she needs his help to help beat up her current boyfriend. Karasumaru.
Yeah, turtleneck and chain.
Exactly. And then so because the students that he is gathered from Ryobu, where he's currently studying at, are wanting to create this martial arts army to take over the world. For some reason. And so, but the biggest part of it is that you think you're done with Karasumaru in this arc whenever he gets defeated by Jokyu because he twists his freaking spine.
Yeah.
And then you see him freaking in Veronica's catacombs.
Nope, don't worry about it.
And he can just walk. And he's like, oh no, I'm just dusting off some old wounds.
Did you call it
And he's still better than most of their guys.
Yeah, it's like legit that he.
It's just Joku 2.0.
I love it so much just because like in the sparring fight that they have, he's just like he starts profusely bleeding and he's just like, yeah, those are the wounds that Joku gave me, and I was just like, what? That's not what happened.
Why are you bleeding? He didn't use any weapons against you. Like it was all internal.
Yeah, it's so goofy.
I know.
But he's a great character though. I love.
No, he's definitely much more fleshed out than Veronica. Although Veronica does get a little bit of time in Ikey, but that's neither here nor there. Yeah. But it's no, and so we go through tournament arc through basically all these groups, and we get the martial artists of the day, and then there's of course the whip user, Kanisaki Rei, who Joku beat up her dad, who was an expert at whips, when he was like 12.
Yeah.
Put him in the hospital. Like real bad. And at that point, she has a grudge against Joku, and yet she never really fights Joku. And whenever she does, she gets her butt handed to her, like immediately. Big surprise.
Oh yeah. Freaking. Okay.
And man, does he touch a lot of butts in this?
A staggering amount of butts. It's true.
Yeah.
Who was the person who challenged him twice? What did you call it? Was it French girl?
Kujirai challenged him like 3 times, I think. The third time after she knew that he was Joku, because he went by Choshu when he first came to.
Kujirai, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. The little sister, one of the other characters that comes back later, yeah.
And it never goes well for her.
Yeah, I just remember the last time he just goes like, "Yo, so you went against me twice, and this time, knowing who I am, you're going to stay down." Yeah. And that was.
Yeah, so he gives you the old hot Cosby.
Oh gosh. The hot Cosby.
Yeah. No, it very much distinguishes that, like, all of the high school women that he has relations with are juniors and seniors, which is like 16, to 18, which is still within legal boundaries in Japan. So it's important to understand that he is not a pedophile.
He kind of likes to skirt that line just a bit sometimes. He does like them young, but he's not. Just a little bit. Don't worry about it. Gets a little close.
Well, he refuses. That's why he. That's why he sleeps with the Mataras, because he refuses to do anything with Rin.
Yeah.
Gosh, Rin is the only innocent soul in this manga.
Yeah, she's a wholesome one. Always tries her best.
Well, no, there's the sex pit. The sex pit was wholesome.
Wait, what? The sex pit with
The
Rin?
sex pit in the castle.
Oh, that was a wholesome scene, yeah. Dorne is pretty wholesome. She's cute, yeah.
But she never gets that D,
She
though.
never gets the D.
Not even in Ikey.
Does she come back in Ikey?
Yeah, for like I'm pretty sure they feature at least like once or twice.
Okay. Just because like I saw Veronica came back, what you call it?
Yeah, well, Veronica was featured more because like she was in the last couple chapters they translated, and she was like an ace in the hole. Donier, she was just there for a little bit for like the cameo.
Okay.
But because she was like a fan favorite, Donier was. I mean, who doesn't like the girl with gumption with what was it, taco hammer hands? Oh man, yeah, her fighting style is the most ridiculous.
Are you sure it wasn't friggin' Joey the X?
Oh, Joey X.
Yeah, Joey
well,
the X.
I mean, all he has was a weird wrestling mask, and then like the stuff in the shoes. And I love it how the guy, the Swiss Army knife guy, where what's her face was that's one of the ones I always forget. Balboa.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But what was up with? Okay, so is there anything to her namesake, Balboa? Because
no, that's all we've told. Like, there's some people that you only see their last name, like Kujirai. That's their family name.
Yeah.
Her little sister's name, I think, is like Celine. Yeah, Celine. But like, you never learn the older sister's like first name, just the same surname.
Yeah, but it always just like bothered me because they would always make the Rocky Balboa joke all throughout it. And I was just like, is that just the reason why?
Sometimes it's all you need.
Gosh.
Oh, fucks.
Wonderful times.
I'm sorry
But-
about that. Please go on.
Good. So, let's talk about more key players in the university arc.
We have Shike, which is the big arm dude.
Oh, did you call it? Wait, the big arm dude?
Yeah, who does the leg kicks? Who
Okay,
does
yeah,
the capoeira stuff?
He came in at the last minute of the last fight, and who?
Yeah, the bull saves everyone from.
Yeah, did you call it friggin'? I think that was the most like well built arc of the whole like manga, just because like him wiping out Bull's whole like group.
Crew, yeah.
Yeah, and then just going like, yeah, did you call it? I knocked everybody out except you, just so you can tell them that you beat us.
Tell them what happened.
Yeah. So you leave us alone. Don't ever talk to us again.
Yeah.
You can keep your cool life as a captain and everything.
As the play, playing Yakuza and such, you know.
Yeah. Just like as a leader of the street gang, yeah, you can still act cool, but no. Just no.
He's like, I'm not a monster.
Yeah. Friggin', but just that building up to did you call it Bull like seeking guidance from Jokyu, and friggin' like actually kind of, gosh darn, yeah, trying to figure out like how he can get revenge in some way, and then just like that leading up to the final fight. Because they really place that a lot throughout the manga.
Yeah, I'm trying to find where is the Scythe girl, the sickle girl's name? I can't find her in the cheat sheet.
Yeah. I remember.
So long.
I remember there's a bit where what you call it? They mistake her for a guy. It's just like,
Yeah, I know. Whenever she takes off her fluffy coat, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, she is the only student after the university students appear that Jokyu does not have his way with.
That's wonderful.
Yep.
Good gosh.
Yeah, I cannot find her to save my life. Jesus Christ.
Did you?
I will help.
They have the two wrestling girls on here that were only in like 2 scenes. They don't have freaking her who's in like half the arc. I can't believe it.
I remember those
Oh.
girls. They tried to fight Home. Yeah. Didn't go well.
Okay.
Homie said, I'm gonna do. Beat him up. Oh man.
Oh, well, that's fine.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
She.
Yeah.
teams
So
up with
well,
them,
this
yeah.
well, that's the thing is that Jokyu switches sides in both arcs.
Oh, yeah.
Really, because he helps Shike and the Scythe girl like get better at their respective arts. He gives them pointers and this and that.
Yeah.
And
It was tickets to a strip club.
yeah. Well, it's still though.
I have
Yeah.
Helping the enemy.
I have here a month's pass to the finest soapland in this entire city. Is this enough to sway you? Yes, more than enough. I'll sell out for anything like this.
Yeah.
Basically.
And
Oh, man.
they just like go ahead and train with them and everything. It's the goofiest stuff ever. And then friggin' the rest of the gang is just like, why are you training them? We're trying to fight them.
The actual scene though of him leaving the Hojo gang, the hero team, and just going, all right, fuck it, with the scene with Veronica, might be my favorite scene in the entire series because it's just so, it's just the antithesis of everything that we've come to expect of a anime. It's like, oh well, you could come with me and have amazing power and resources and women, and you would expect, oh no, I would never do this. And he's like, okay, right on, let's just like right now. Can we get in the helicopter right now? And just
Can I get a trial?
Yeah. Oh,
I found her name.
It's so good.
Yeah.
She doesn't have a page anymore. It's been deleted. What the heck? it's Inoguchi.
Yes.
Yeah. I love that the wiki's actively fighting against you.
It has a broken link. It lists her name in Shikei's bio, and then it's just a broken link.
That's
Why?
wonderful.
There's so much on it. Oh my gosh. Oh, but no, yeah. So eventually, what was it? So the first time he battles out with Kurasumaru, it's well, he counts as a loss, but Kurasumaru says it's a draw. But no, it's definitely interesting to see how the whole thing goes down and how many people fight how many people. And how some of the people fight enough that they get they keep coming back for more and getting a little bit stronger, while others just completely basically give up martial arts.
Yeah. You should call it friggin' I think it goes to the point where Kurasumaru just goes like, yeah, we're no longer a gang. This team thing is stupid.
This after he beats up a whole Yakuza gang with guns and stuff like that, barehanded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the whole like that they're a group and just like they're supposed to be the strongest warriors, and then just like, yeah, this is stupid. Look, I think I might start over.
Let's go back to the basics.
I need
back to the
I
shed.
need to tick off a bit and reflect on my life. Maybe travel to a foreign country.
Yeah, maybe join a band of mercenaries.
Yeah.
You know, healthy things.
Yeah,
So-
but
While my spine is still bent.
Self-healing for the soul, really.
but that's even before the fight with Joki. He just goes like, yeah, we're done. Most of our like forces have been beaten up. I'm just gonna fight Joki on my own. Why not? And then you call it friggin' that sets, gosh darn, buff arms. I can't remember his name again.
Oh, Shike?
Yeah, Chike. It jumpstarts Chike into just like going off and like executing his own plan.
Yeah, with Poison Girl, whatever her name is. Can't remember her name. But
Yeah, but I will say she's like one of the most standout characters in this thing because she never directly actually like fights anyone except Miu. I think. Is it Miu? Oh no.
no, she and
What you call it?
Kagemasu,
Yeah,
Akimi, her and Akimi are always like going back and forth.
Yeah. And friggin' everyone like just cracks on her for losing. gosh. There's a lot of interesting what do you call it, fighting styles and
Relationships.
just relationships, fighting styles, and things within the university arc.
Yeah, I also cannot find anything on the Poison Girl's name. Ah, fuck.
Oh gosh.
I'm not worried about it.
Yeah, she will just be forever referred to as Poison Girl.
Trap master.
It's about what she deserves, honestly. So it's kind of fitting.
Indeed, but her
Yeah, what was it? That last one when everybody's fighting against her, and then how May has to come and just like beat her.
Oh yeah.
Just punches her into oblivion.
Good gosh. Oh, was anybody disappointed that Natara didn't actually get a redemption fight?
Nah, she wasn't that big of a character anyways. How May did most of the muscle.
Yeah, but I don't know, when both how May and Natara like both got a whole speaking to about just like, yeah, you both need to change up your fighting styles because they suck. And then
Get good.
Yeah, how May actually came back with like better form and everything, and she bulked down.
Yeah.
Just so she can
she
use
was
her power
getting
more.
there. Yeah. Trying to learn her inner power again.
Indeed. And I think that was cool, and I just wanted the same thing for Natara, but all she got was just like, yeah, remember that fight? I was on a skyscraper and I sniped her weapon case closed. That was my contribution.
That was enough. It's alright.
Basically, long support. I mean, gosh, what was it? They beat up the airsoft club or whatever in that first scene.
Oh yeah.
How was it an airsoft club at a martial arts school? I don't know. It's so weird.
I couldn't tell you.
Because airsoft is like, it's sort of like real gun, but it's not really like real guns.
I
mean, I understand they're in Japan, but it's not the same.
Oh
at
yeah,
all.
what you call it? Friggin', she says that it's like a 100 kilometer a second pitch, and they're just like, that's just like a real gun.
Yeah.
That's the thing is that she has legal air guns, but the pressure's cranked so high that it's like a real gun.
Her revolvers were modified to be like.
Yeah, also it makes sense why she had revolvers and not a freaking clip gun with an air gun, because it seems like changing out the the barrel each time when we fire a shot would be hard to keep compressed air without a tight sealed container.
Yeah.
45.45 caliber, and the bullets are hard rubber. Like a baseball pitched at 150 kilometers an hour.
The finest handgun ever made. The Cold Single Action Army. 6 shots. More than enough to kill Jokyu. Now you'll know why they call me Revolver.
Metra. But did you call it? They kind of call back to a fighting with the next arc that goes through.
Yeah, with the master and his apprentice. Yeah, Harry is the apprentice, and I always forget the name of the master because they hardly ever say it.
Yeah. Did you call it?
And then, of course, it's Catacombs.
Yeah. Catacombs. Gosh.
The
the
butler.
sniper. Yeah. Almost forgot.
I know that weak Call of Duty player that is just masquerading as a sniper.
I can't fucking stand campers.
But I love, like, in every friggin' fight that he was the first person Jokyu like ran over to like friggin' just take out. Just like, oh, the sniper's over there. Oh shoot, I should have put my phone on silent.
It's alright, don't worry about it.
Ball's out on stream already.
Yeah.
I got the siren treatment, so you don't have to worry about it too
Yeah,
much.
but the siren you can't really control that well.
Nah, not so much.
Phone you can easily turn off right before your podcast.
Yeah.
Like it's like some people would do for etiquette.
Indeed. Truly a unprofessional host.
It's alright, Jonathan. No worries.
Yeah.
But yeah, Harry's weird because he has the 2 pistols and then he has the extended clip so he can block and fight with it and such like that. And his master had that freaking staff wheel weapon that shoots bullets. It's super dangerous.
Yeah.
Of course, can we talk about the scene where Jokyu uses 2 swords to shoot a pistol?
Yeah, just like
I fucking forgot that existed.
yeah. He had him in the cross. Yeah.
Yeah, he has heaven, and then he freaking the other sword, and then he just uses it to hold the gun and pull the trigger with the swords like they're his hands.
The most unnecessary.
No, but he
thing
steals the
ever.
gun from Harry after he takes him out.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's
And
great.
nearly kills that guy.
I can't even Google a picture of this because there's nothing on Aiki. So what am I gonna even get here? Oh well.
But
That's
I
fine.
definitely remember that scene. That's
It's good.
gosh.
I had completely forgotten just the goofy ass scene of
Yeah.
2 swords.
The Jokyu does with a sword, yeah, with this spinning sword tornado and
Yeah.
him just messing around with Veronica before she just freaking slices him down the middle.
Which that was weird within itself, like that opened him up enough so he can release more of his limiter.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's the thing though, is that the slice was so deep that it moved him because it realigned him, and so I mean that sort of stuff is known to happen. Obviously it's very rare, and he's a Gary Stu, but it's not unheard of for things. Not exactly sword slashes, but trauma like that to do stuff like that to relocate certain things.
Oh, yeah. But I don't know. What would you call it? I guess it very much set up for the final fight a little bit more, where you get to see more of his abilities and everything. Gosh, was it a advanced version of the one step?
Oh, the lightning step.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was it. What would you call it? Friggin' that was one of the things that got revealed, when he had a higher thing, but it was only
That was
no.
that was at a 60%.
It was-
I think, yeah.
was that at 60%?
Well, he was 60%. I know it was 60%, but he was forcing himself to go to 70.
Yeah. And what wasn't it that he was only had control of it in his right arm?
By the end of the series, his left arm hits
Yeah, it's
Okay.
lefty.
90%. Yeah, I do remember that.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Then we had that duel where he's off kilter because he has a giant left arm and a tiny right. And Veronica's like, it's a double-edged sword. And he's like, man, you're a genius.
I love the addition of that. Just man, you're a genius. Jokyu's so cool.
I know, he's so upset when other people are as smart as he is.
That's it.
Gosh.
Yes, sir. Yeah. We got anything else to go through here?
So let's talk about the most underrated character. And his name would be Nakashima, the ginger ninja from the West.
Oh, yes.
The guy who uses wires and freaking shuriken and smoke bombs and is a full-fledged and has the coolest helmet in the world. And it's just like a ninja. And eventually they beat him. They catch him and beat him because he has such a sense of honor. They trick him and then beat the crap out of him and then find out he's just this beautiful red-headed foreigner who's dressing up in all this ninja gear.
Friggin', I love it just because like he's the most like out of nowhere character ever. Like that whole entire fight where they're going against all the remaining members at the castle, and then he just jumps out of nowhere, just like, hey, Jokyu, I wanted to fight you. And I'm just...
he wants to fight Hojo, but then freaking Karasumaru explains to him, he's like, no, you don't want to fight Hojo. It's not because I want to fight Hojo, it's because he's so old, you wouldn't get the best experience, but Jokyu, he's a legend, he's alive, you should go fight him.
But he's so just... He's really out there character, and he's just so expressive. Yeah, you are right. He is one of the most underrated. Because I wasn't even thinking about him.
Yeah, not only that, but he's the only one that was able to sneak up above Hojo and a Jokyu without his presence being noticed. So he's like an actual ninja. Like,
oh yeah. Good God.
It's insane on like how ridiculous it is. But then of course there's Sergeant Douglas, who is pretty ridiculous as well. Who just uses this shovel and then mixes bombs in with the dirt that he shovels.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's the most like video game character in the world.
I forgot about the bomb shovel.
Yeah.
He just mixes in grenades.
This is my secret technique. It's fucking bullshit.
I like it. I like it because like at first they're just like, what are you doing? And then that's when he starts throwing in the bombs. Just like, oh shoot. It's
not only does it put like regular like Americanized like grenades, but he also puts in like freaking the long boys from like World War II in there too.
Oh jeez.
Like the German hand grenades.
Yeah.
It's quite the eclectic taste in.
And it's a giant explosion too.
Yeah, it's big. Oh man. And the fact that him and Shuriken Girl, whatever her name is, I always forget.
Oh gosh. There's just so many fighters in this, you kind of like glance over a lot of them.
You just identify by the style. That's just the only way to do it.
Yeah.
Because she has no arc. She's just there and she just has that piece that she throws giant shurikens with.
Yeah.
And I love it how the captain just like, Captain Ikey, the general. That's what the nickname they call him. The general just carries around a whole bunch of the extra shuriken for him.
Good gosh, I will say, like, for how many characters that are in this series, they're all pretty diverse. Oh
yeah, they're all like, none of them overlap.
Oh, yeah.
Like maybe a little bit, but not enough that it becomes annoying or like it dulls the story down any.
Like I would think that some would overlap personality wise, but no, they're just like very distinctly different. Except for what you call it? Didn't the Whoop Girl have a sister, or what you call it? Was it? Oh no, it was the one who had the claw.
Yeah.
And she call it mentions that she's way different. But yeah, just other than that, just barely any overlap.
Which was pretty welcome, and there was it would have had more than enough of an excuse to with a cast size like this, as you mentioned, but a lot of time was clearly put into exploring a variety of different styles of martial arts, which is nice. How does blank match up against Aikido? How does blank match up with this kind of Aikido? It's really took the time with it. It's nice.
Definitely. And also, you call it before I get too far away from Douglas. Friggin' Douglas and Bull have the best arc ever.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Father and son, man.
Yeah. What you call it? Just.
It's like Bull, go check if there's dead bodies over there. I've never seen a dead body before.
Gosh.
He just carries the general back.
Yeah, just forcing him into like a whole day's worth full of exercise and everything, and just drill sergeant him and everything, and then just like kind of bonding with him like over the days.
The fact that he comes back as a limo attendant in Ikey was it kind of worked because he had to kind of refine himself one way or another down the line, but I didn't see it coming at all. It was really nice. Yeah.
Also, what you call it?
Oh yeah. By the way, you guys caught that the general's still alive, right?
Oh.
I would have to get.
Yeah, at the end when they're going through the village and you see Veronica walk through the village, you look up and in the other panel you think it's just a crowd, but if you look, you see the general's bald head in the back of it, and then the eye patch.
Ah. I did not actually catch that.
It's something I didn't catch till the second time I read through.
Once I get there on my reread, I will make sure to pay close attention.
I mean, he's a shit brick house, so it's not a big surprise, but...
Yeah.
But it looked like he was down for the count for a minute.
Yeah.
Jeez.
I mean, he didn't shoot through his heart. Catacomb didn't shoot through his heart, he only shot through his lungs, so, you know, having a collapsed lung isn't the end of the world. It's definitely, like, critical, but it's not necessarily a lethal blow.
Good gosh. But yeah, that was a whole, like, I don't know. It brought a lot of stuff to what you call it, Bull trying to stand up against Jokyu.
Yeah, and this brings us to the most important topic today, and why is Bull the main character of the series?
Yeah.
He's the only one that has character growth. All the other characters, that's the thing, is that like all these people have like growth as martial artists, but nobody really has character growth like Bull.
Yeah, they're all pretty static characters. But yeah, what do you call it? Friggin' he goes from like street gang leader to just like actual trying to like become stronger and everything. I think it's because he actually has like a goal. And then, would you call it, people kind of challenge his beliefs about that goal?
The one who comes the closest to genuine character growth, apart from him, would have to be Home. But even like her, like, yeah, there's really no one that really got to the same level as Bull. It was pretty nice, yeah.
Wait, Home.
The actual protagonist of this wonderful franchise.
Alright, so what will you guys rate it? If you could do it from a scale of 1 to 10.
Me? I would give Ikey a nice 8 on 10. Very recommendable to anyone who likes a good martial arts manga. There's a couple things here and there that were a bit tough to keep on going through, but overall it was a very solid manga. Pretty great experience. I'd have to rate it way up there, yeah. Definitely a strong 8 for me. How about you guys?
Do you want to go first, Josiah? Or do you
I'll probably give it a 7 out of 10, only because it's so niche. For me, it's definitely like an 8 or 9, but like at a more general scale, it's definitely more of a 7. Because, like we said, like there isn't like too many dynamic things, and there's not a lot at the stakes. I mean, it's very compelling for guys like us who are well versed in this sort of stuff already. Mm-hmm. But for somebody coming, you know, without good knowledge about like martial arts or just like this sort of style, I could see how it could turn some people away. Yeah. But I would definitely just give it a 7 out of 10. Yeah.
I'd say, for me, I'm going to give it a 6 on 10, but for me it felt very much like someone who's trying to figure out how to do a kind of battle manga and everything. And what you call it, as the series goes further and further, you see that Itoshi, yeah, kind of get a better grasp on that. And I feel like I really want to see what happens in Ikey S just for that reason, because like I feel like Ikey S is going to be like levels higher.
It definitely goes up higher because the world gets even smaller. But the thing with IKS, for the podcast listeners, there's 61 chapters, only 38 are translated, and nobody has uploaded the raws, so nobody knows how it ends. It's not a very popular series because it ended too soon, and apparently the ending was a little forced. So I've heard from people who have reviewed it, who've read the original, and but unfortunately, until the raws get uploaded sometime, I'm stuck. Anybody in the western area is stuck, up the creek without a paddle. So the worst part is that in the 38th chapter, it leaves you on a cliffhanger.
Ooh,
so yeah, that's kind of why I would say not to read it. I mean, you can obviously do it if you want to, but
yeah. If anybody's got some raws out there, feel free to
please email us at safpodpeople@gmail.com.
Set it up, homie. What you call it? If this gets big, we can get some raws. We can get it finished.
It's
You finally complete the master's work.
It's kind of ironic because if there's anyone here who should be well versed in doing things raw, it's Joe Q. But guess we don't have.
Oh yeah.
Guess we don't have our raws after all.
Mr. MC never wears a rubber.
Yeah. What you call it? Friggin'. What's her name? She call it friggin'. Yeah, Chamonix.
Shimomi. Yeah.
What you call it? Just like
10 times in a
we
row?
had
Really?
Yeah, 10 times in a row.
It's a good thing it was a safe day.
What a Chad! Holy shit! He's so strong.
Oh, but there's a couple weeks in between his shaggings though. He keeps it,
He's a gentleman.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, it's not just gentleman, but he builds his stamina. Like he's not some sort of weak, beta who has to have something every single day.
Right.
He's a genius. He has to plan out these things.
He has to make his masterpiece. He has to create art.
These kinds of things can't be rushed,
Of course, they also make the same stuff about Hojo, about freaking what was it, Attila the Hunting It, like just dropping babies in all sorts of countries.
Yeah. I love the comment of what you call it, where they're both just like, the girl's just like, hey old man, that party probably doesn't even work anymore. And it's just like, yeah, but it's just enough.
The shuriken girl, yeah.
Good.
Where they dragged her and she woke up in the forest because they just left her because she was too heavy.
Oh, jeez.
Oh man.
This story is wild. I will say that. Any final thoughts on what you call it? Aiki?
Yeah. Nope. If you're interested in it, go read it. It's definitely recommendable. It's definitely available, at least Aiki, but not IKS.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, IKS is fun, but it's not really. I mean, you don't really have to read it because Aiki just leaves off in a good place as it is already. So
yeah. But what did you call it?
Enjoy yourself, and we'll see you next month with another review.
Yeah.
Take care, folks.
Later.
Bye.
Bye.